Welcome to Gresham on the Go, a fast-paced monthly news show where we'll take you places, talk to interesting people, and give you the highlights you need to stay informed and get involved in our community. I'm your host, Jill Bradley. Our co-host, Larry Morgan, will be with us in a few. Today, we're talking about water, specifically the future of our water supply in Gresham. We're building an independent, safe, and reliable water system for our community by the year 2026. Here to tell us about it are the leaders of the Cascade Groundwater Alliance from the City of Gresham and Rockwood Water People's Utility District. Welcome, Steve and Carrie. Steve, first off, why do we need a new source of water and what are the benefits?
Well, thanks, Jill. Many of you probably know that we've been a wholesale customer of the City of Portland for our water for many decades. And Portland supplies its water from Bull Run and also groundwater. A few years back, the number of hits of what's called cryptosporidium in the Bull Run source became such that the federal government requires Portland now to build a water filtration plant. That's going to be a very expensive plant. We analyzed the costs and determined it would have a big rate impact on our customers. So we looked at alternatives and we worked with Rockwood Water PUD to analyze those and determine that we have a really good water source here. It's the same groundwater source that the City of Portland and Rockwood and Gresham have been tapping for a long time as well, but we can expand that source to make the water more affordable for our customers.
Oh, that's great. So the Cascade Groundwater Alliance will be supplying groundwater. Why don't you tell our folks what that is exactly?
Absolutely. So groundwater is water that comes from the surface, either from rain or rivers or lakes, and it's infiltrating into the ground. And it ends up in porous layers deep underground, similar to how water might absorb into a sponge. And so these porous layers underground, which are formed with sand and gravel, form these aquifers. And that's where we are pulling the groundwater out of, kind of like you would take a straw and pull it up to the surface.
Now tell us, is it safe to drink?
It is, Jill, and again, we've been drinking this water in the City of Gresham, in Portland, and the whole Portland metro region for many decades. And we do have extensive water quality testing that we do on the water. We are incorporating treatment facilities into the water that we will be pulling out of the ground. So yes, it is extremely safe. Some of the other cities in the Portland metro region, as they're looking at alternative water sources, they're actually pulling water out of the Willamette River. So we believe that this deep groundwater aquifer is a better source for us.
It's a pretty big change. How can we be sure it's going to be great?
Well, Rockwood and Gresham have a very long-standing relationship, and we've worked together over many years, almost 100 years, starting in 1925 when Rockwood was first formed as a district. So we have further strengthened that relationship recently by committing to provide water from the ground together.
I think we're better situated now, once we go to our own groundwater system, to be able to survive an earthquake situation. Portland has a little older infrastructure and more susceptible to seismic events, where a newer system and our groundwater system are less susceptible to that. And we would become a provider in the area in such an earthquake. So now we go from the kind of the planning stages of this whole project to the actual construction stage. And we've recently drilled a well locally here at Kirk Park. Rockwood has drilled a couple of wells also. Most of these wells will come to this site, be treated, and then distributed out into our systems.
And now we're pleased to be joined by Nina Vetter, who was chosen 2 weeks ago by the Gresham City Council to be the full-time city manager starting June 28th. Nina, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, and I'm excited to join Gresham.
So we're going to dive into a lightning round so the community and people can get to know you a little bit better. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Perfect. What is your favorite food?
All the food, but I gotta say ice cream takes the cake.
Fair enough. What's your favorite color?
Yellow. I love sun and sunshine.
So a lot of Blazer fans out there, but what is your favorite sports team?
Well, my favorite sports team is the New York Giants. I grew up in Connecticut, and my dad has always been a big Giants fan. So I think I'm a New York Giants fan for life at this point.
Awesome. Who is your favorite artist?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I grew up listening to the Goo Goo Dolls a lot, and I went to their concerts a lot as a kid. So I'm just going to stick with the Goo Goo Dolls because it's a throwback to my teenage years.
What do you most want the community to know about you?
I currently live with my partner Justin and our super cute cat Rizzo and pretty cute dog Maddox in Colorado. I've worked in government for over 10 years. I love working in local government because you get to really see and experience the impact that you have on your local community, and you get to be part of it. I joined local government really soon after I graduated college, and I just have found I've fallen in love with the career. I absolutely love it.
How would you describe your leadership style, and what leader, either past or present, do you respect the most?
So being a leader in local government is being able to support the team, being there for them, because really I think that's fundamentally one of the most important jobs of a leadership role in government, whether you're a department head, an assistant city manager, or a city manager. And I learned a lot of that from, I'll tell you, one of the leaders that I look up to the most, which is one of my former bosses from many years ago. She was willing to have really honest, crucial conversations when they needed to happen with me and with other people. She was very humble, and she could find humor in any situation.
What are some of the things that attracted you to this community?
Everything. Everything about Gresham excites me. I just love living in a diverse community that celebrates their diversity. They celebrate how they're different. They have different cultures that mesh. To me, that is a great place to work and also a great place to live. Obviously, all the outdoor recreation opportunities I'm really excited about as well. And I have a lot of friends who live in the Portland area who have just said phenomenal things about Gresham as a community, but also about the city government of Gresham.
This summer, the Gresham Japanese Garden volunteers are bringing us the beautiful scents, sights, and sounds of the Japanese culture. Here to share more about the Japanese Garden's free summer cultural series is Coordinator Sue Hughes. Sue, tell us about what you have planned for this free series.
Well, we have a whole summer planned of performances, demonstrations. We're going to have bonsai demonstrations, ikebana demonstrations. You can hear the sound behind us of Yumi, who is now playing the shamisen. And she'll be playing the lute, she'll be playing a flute, she'll be playing the drums. They're all authentic Japanese instruments, and we're just really excited about sharing it with the community.
So I was playing this shamisen. It's a 3-string Japanese lute, becoming really popular in Japan because of this percussive and very powerful sound. And I met this instrument, taiko, first. I didn't do any Japanese music when I was in Japan, but when I first met taiko, that was the way of expression. So I started Takohachi. It's a 501c3 nonprofit organization as a performing group to introduce my culture. So I would like to share a lot of cool things with the people I love. This cultural series is more meaningful than ever because of this unfortunate rise in Asian hate crime. I think it's the people get to know us and be familiar with faces and different instrument, different culture. This is the solution to this Asian hate crime. So very meaningful.
I think so, and I'm so excited for everyone to get to know you a little bit better this summer.